Hey, this is Charles Onyet with IGN. I'm here with Anthony Gallegos.
Hello.
And we are looking at Diablo 3 after patch 1.0.5. And this does not add PvP, in case that's what you were waiting for. That is for some time later. But it does add a couple new systems, switches up class functionality across the board, a bunch of different skills tweaked, and makes some interesting adjustments to item drop rates. So you should have a better chance, although still a crappy one, of getting legendaries and set items in the game. But I will talk about monster power first. I can't really show off Infernal Machine, which is one of the other new systems added in. But for monster power, once you update your game, you go into your options menu over to gameplay, and you can hit the Enable Monster Power selection option here and accept. And then what that allows you to do is when you go into Change Quest, over here you can select, along with difficulty, you can select monster power levels. And you can say no monster power if you don't want it, so you don't have to use monster power.
That's the current default settings.
Yeah, that's just normal. So you can just play the game as you normally would on normal, Nightmare, Hell, or Inferno. Or you can switch it to one of 10 monster power settings, which basically boosts monster health as well as damage output. But it also gives you better rewards. So the risk of boosting monster health and damage output gives you bonus XP, magic find, gold find, and I guess a bonus item.
Yeah, in Charles's case, according to the chart I'm looking at, it says you're going to get 20% additional experience and then 10% magic find and gold find, just base. So.
And yeah, it is slightly higher in Inferno too. So if I were to go all the way up to monster power 10 on Inferno, monsters would get a 3,439% bonus to their health.
Okay.
So that's a lot. That's not
good luck.
That's not a small amount of health gained. And the damage is also increased, but not nearly that high. It's like 371%. And I guess the idea there from Blizzard is to make it so that you're really concentrating on boosting your efficiency of damage output as opposed to just running around like crazy and trying to kite monsters and hoping they don't one-shot you.
Right.
Which, I guess theoretically is more fun. I don't know if attacking a monster with that much of a health bonus is really that fun anyway. That would take me...
It just seems like you'd be fighting a normal skeleton for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know. I guess you do get the bonus rewards though, so maybe it's worth it. Maybe they just an avalanche of legendaries just pops out of regular skeletons.
I was going to say if they said this monster power 10 in particular increases like legendary drops by 10% or something, then all of a sudden it'd be like, well, now I got to do it.
Right. Although, so as I was saying, legendaries and set items are now twice as likely to drop as they were before. That drop rate has been doubled. But initially the drop rate was terrible, so it's still terrible, but it is slightly less terrible. And
man,
I mean,
these guys have a ton of health.
That is kind of one of the irritating things about the game, though. Is just, I mean, oh man,
Desecrator.
Yeah, you play the game for so long, and get into Inferno and start fighting these enemies, and like in my entire play of Diablo 3, I've only ever found 3 legendaries, which I find really irritating. I mean, it's, it's just, I want to be rewarded for all of my time, my life invested in this game.
Well, how else are they supposed to be legendary if they're not legendarily?
No, it's true. It's just, I think you can have a higher drop rate on there. I don't think it necessarily needs to be that low. I just, they doubled it, and again, I was standing in the
Desecrator, man. The Desecrator, fire chains, like all these ones that sap damage over time are the worst.
Yeah, I found that this is a particularly difficult game to play and talk at the same time. I really kind of, especially when I have to be this careful about my barbarian's health and stay out of all of these pools of death that are all over the place.
Yeah, well, Charles tries to survive this assault here. Jeez, I think it's interesting that they allow the monster power thing on all the various difficulties. Before we started filming, Charles actually put it on monster power 10 on normal, but with his level 60 character, you can still blast him, one-shot everything. That isn't going to make it that much more difficult. But it is interesting to think that, if you created a new monk or something and you want to level him up from level 1, but you think the normal difficulty is just, you know, painfully easy and really boring. Maybe, I haven't done it myself yet, but maybe that'll make it a little bit more of a challenge and a little bit more fun. Maybe even find better magic items that you'll have improved magic find and gold find. Like, it could be a little bit more worth it, the initial character grind, for people that have a problem with that. Though, again, as I was talking to Charles about, it doesn't really alleviate the fact that you're still having to grind through all of normal to unlock a bunch of powers that's what you really want when you're playing through normal anyways.
Yeah,
to unlock all
it's
those
more
abilities.
like, I mean, normal does feel like essentially an extended tutorial, basically. That's what you're doing in that mode. Oh my god, everyone needs to drop health globes immediately.
Oh, but you almost got one. You almost got one.
I should be able to kill him here. There we go.
Nice.
And a health globe. Excellent combination.
You're back in business. Man, your mace gets crazy looking when you go Super Saiyan, by the way.
Okay, I've dispatched almost everything here. Okay, I managed to do it.
Sadly, no legendary.
Yeah, it's just the concentrating on what I'm about to say, as well as trying to avoid all of their death traps, tends to be a little more challenging.
Yeah, Desecrator and Plague. There's just too much to deal with.
At least there were not fire chains. I'm just hoping I do not see fire chains. I really have a problem with that. Because I am a barbarian, I have to be in close most of the time. It usually means as soon as I close into attack,
so they've
my face gets set on fire.
Since the game came out in May, they've done nothing but pretty much lower the difficulty of Inferno overall. So, you know, for people that have complained about it just being easier and easier, and, you know, hopefully the increase in monster power will allow them to take it back up to beyond even where it originally was, if they want that challenge.
Oh yeah, for sure. For anyone who has gone through the game and really, you know, actually gotten some of the better items, probably purchased them off of the auction house, since it is so difficult to actually amass a decent collection of legendaries on your own. You know, that's definitely a way to be like, well, you can't just skate through the game anymore. You have to actually, you know, pay attention. And I don't know how good those armor...
no, Molten. Run. Oh my gosh. Molten, man.
I probably should use a potion. Yeah, it's just a way to ensure the game is still challenging, but at the same time, not just making it unfairly challenging, and actually giving you a reward for putting the difficulty that high by increasing, your drop bonuses, basically.
One of the hilarious tweaks I think they made in 1.0.5 is the fact that you actually have one too, on your rare items now. They decreased the amount of time it takes to identify them.
Oh yeah, that's true. So this is only going to take a second. So fast.
Like, I don't know. I actually, like, granted, I guess, you know, in your case, when you're level 60, most of the rares you find are almost never useful. But, you know, for me, it was like always such a joy watching that thing slowly tick up in the big reward. But now it's like, it just seems like such a random thing that they were like, you know, this is too long.
Well, I think it's just because you find so many rares that you wind up sitting through that delay so often that you're just like, all right, well, maybe I should just do this a little faster.
Also, I hardly ever took the Enchantress, but on Inferno, she seems way too useful.
Her crowd control stuff,
exactly.
Specifically her chickens.
Exactly.
But she also sets up, man, those guys do quite a bit of damage. I'm not able to survive many hits there. My gear isn't particularly elite. It's just kind of good. It's good for normal mode, but not for apparently Monster Power 1. I am outclassed.
I mean, well, let's be honest. You've put in a ton of time in Diablo, but you unfortunately, due to the nature of your life, don't get to be one of those people that can spend a million hours.
It's true, yeah. I mean, I haven't spent nearly as much time in the game as many have. So I don't have totally awesome armor sets. But I mean, what Blizzard has done here with Monster Power, what Blizzard's done with Infernal Machine, which I can't really show off, but what that lets you do is, I want to just grab that Doom armor.
I love that it's called Doom armor.
It's just a type of armor. But Infernal Machine, if you're able to go through Inferno on all 4 acts and find some items, you can access more challenging boss fights. There we go, potion. So that's another way for, you know, the hardcore crowd to get more mileage out of the game, to basically build in more gameplay without really adding, you know, a totally new mode of play. Although, you know, the new boss fights, those are new challenges, but it's not something like PvP where it's something entirely different. It's bosses you've already fought.
It is disappointing.
It's just they're combined.
It is disappointing that there's no PvP yet. It seems like we're still a ways off from that. From all indications, every time I've spoken to them, they never have any sort of firm dates to come up to. And as we get into the closing part of the year, I'd be really surprised if they released it during like the holiday season.
Yeah, considering the timing on this patch, the fact that we really haven't heard what Blizzard is necessarily doing with PvP in Diablo 3, I would assume, you know, it's a 2013 type of thing at this point. I would assume, you know, probably February-ish would be my guess.
Yeah. I mean, I am excited to see what they're going to do with it, though, because for all the time they've taken with it, I mean, you have to imagine they have to be doing something cool with it. Like, I hope so, because or else they're going to have a lot of people that'll be really disappointed if it takes like a year after it comes out.
Yeah, and I think, you know, one of the things that's exciting about it is that it's just another kind of way for you to show off, you know, your dedication, and another way, another source of motivation for spending all this time building your character, finding all these items, you know, maybe getting stuff off at the auction house or finding it yourself. Whatever you've been doing, now you have an outlet for that. You can be like, here is a direct application of all of my work, you know, fine-tuning my skill, picking exactly the right skill build within the game, and getting the armor to support it. You know, that's something that you can't really do right now, that I think would definitely serve to make it a little more fun to play through the game, because, yeah, you do have that other thing to look forward to.
Yeah, 6 months from release, I do feel like Blizzard, if nothing else, is, you know, for a lot of people...
It's taken a really long time.
No, it has, but I'm saying 6 months, over the course of 6 months, they've done continuous upgrades to the game, even changing some major systems in order to try and answer the outcry from fans that, you know, things that they had issues with.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like their changes that they've made to Inferno so far, kind of dropping the difficulty, but in the process, you know, not just like, hey, we made the game easier. It's more like because before it was just kind of unfair. It was just the type of thing where you just eventually hit a gear wall, and it's like, well, guess what? You can't do anything until you get higher level stuff.
Sure.
And you know, I think they've dodged that problem, and at this point, they're after this patch, you know, they're basically appealing to everyone and be like, hey, well, if you really do want that higher degree of challenge, well, you got it. You know, you can select it. It's very customizable now.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options for that type of play, but still, it's taken so long for PvP, especially for something that was initially supposed to ship with the game, that was supposed to be out with the base product, and now, you know, time keeps stretching on beyond launch with no updates. So hopefully we do hear something about that soon. What I would like to do, just to show off the differences in monster power, you've seen me running through here, you've seen me dying, you've probably already commented below saying, oh my god, Charles, you're so terrible at this game, you should be fired, etc., etc. I'm going to switch it over to just regular difficulty, so you can see kind of what the difference is, even with one setting of monster power, which I am going to town portal out of here. And yeah, so Anthony, as you mentioned, switching it back to normal and going to Monster Power 10, not recommended.
No, not if you're a high-level character. No, anyways, I mean, it was like they were dying faster than they could appear.
Yeah, they die pretty much instantly. So I'm just going to leave game here and go in and reset my quest with... Maybe I should try Monster Power 10?
You could if you wanted to.
No, that's a terrible idea.
You would probably get one-shotted.
All right, maybe I'll do... Okay, well, I'll do this first. So no monster power. This is just regular Inferno, standard Inferno. Go back into the game. Hopefully it logs in pretty quick. One thing that's also kind of disappointing, there's still like lagginess in the game.
The only thing I can wonder is if when they've rolled out this new patch, if there's a bunch of people trying to connect all of a sudden because people are coming back because of the patch. I don't know. But yes, either way, I agree.
There has been kind of weird, kind of like persistent lagginess though in Diablo 3, which is odd. That, I mean, considering Blizzard's, you know, vast experience with
running online networks,
products, that, you know, it's that type of thing hasn't necessarily been smoothed out yet entirely. Although it does seem to be less frequent than it was at least around when I was playing for launch. Oh god, I'm immediately into a champion pack.
Well, as long as they're not fire chains.
This is a good way to show. Oh,
see, that skeleton died like nothing.
Yeah, so he died a lot faster. I'm going to see if I can... So you can see how much faster everything is dying here.
Not to mention, like, you're actually taking some of these arcane beams on the chin and not just getting blown up immediately.
I'm standing in the, so that, I wasn't quite used to how mobile I would have to be otherwise, because yeah, I just destroyed everything there. Whereas if I was playing back on, you know, Monster Power 1, obviously I was having quite a bit of difficulty, and in that time I just rolled through everything, and it really wasn't, it wasn't nearly as challenging. So you do see a pretty significant difference, even with
just one monster power.
With just Monster Power 1. So if this is the type of, you know, if you are trying to get back into Diablo and really get much more of a long-form progression track, you know, this seems like, ooh.
And also, I think some of the people that maybe felt that Inferno was too hard, like, there's still those people, you know, like, not everyone's even necessarily is that skilled, so for them, Inferno was still just too hard, and for them, maybe this lower difficulty Inferno will actually be something that they want too.
Yeah, if you've been away since launch, you know, Inferno has been tweaked over the patches, so it is much more forgiving than it used to be for certain. So I think I also, just because I was thinking about it, want to check out Monster Power 10 and see how ridiculous.
I want to see if you can survive the first pack of mobs.
But yeah, you can see now I'm one-shotting, you know, monsters with mace hits here. It's this is going much more smoothly for me than it was on Monster Power 1 and Inferno. What happened to all the monsters? How is this room empty? Oh, here we go. So even Unburied, who were like 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah, that guy would have probably done half your health each hit.
Yeah,
now you just finished
he's dead now. Oh, I just missed it that. But yeah, all these guys go down a lot faster. So the Monster Power 1 definitely makes a difference. Okay, now to try out Monster Power 10. To see how what a, hold on, let me make sure I have this number correct. A 3,439% health increase. See what that actually looks like. So
I'm more worried about the damage increase of the monsters rather than the health increase.
The damage increase. So the damage increase for Monster Power 1 is just 114%.
For Monster Power 1.
For Monster Power 1. For Monster Power 10, it is 371%. So yeah, let's just move this up a few.
I want to see if the first skeleton kills you.
This is going to be a disaster. All right, we'll see what happens here. Probably my death, which I'm used to seeing, but probably a lot faster than I'm used to be seeing here. This will be just like initial Act 2 Inferno type.
Yeah, right when they first launched, and it was just like beating against a wall.
Oh my God, Act 2 in Inferno initially was pretty brutal. The type of thing where you would run up against a monster and be like, oh, I remember killing that thing from before. Oh, I'm dead already. And then again and again, and yeah, it was not pretty. Again, I'm way outclassed here. This is going to be probably pretty quick. The answer should not take long to find as to how different.
Hopefully you don't run into a champion pack right off the bat, like just a normal skeleton.
Well, actually, there's probably going to be some standard monsters back here, maybe? Hello? Nothing?
Monster Power 10 is actually just a big joke. There's no monsters.
They're just turned off. It's just the numbers are just there to scare you, and it's just actually just a field of legendaries. And
here we go. Yeah, look at
Okay, he's taken quite a few hits here.
Oh wow, he almost.
I'm gonna go Super Saiyan.
Man, he hit you once and it took off like 70% of your health. Oh wow, wow.
I'm alive though. I'm gonna let.
Yeah, but this is like kiting for a boss fight, not a skeleton.
No, this is standard. This is one skeleton. All right, I'm doing all right here. I feel like I need to kill this skeleton in order to.
The only way this is gonna feel vindicated is if he drops the legendary.
If you dropped a legendary, I would freak out. I don't know what that would look. Oh no, no, don't die! Do not die against the skeleton. Let's see.
Oh, man.
There, ground stomp stun. Get a couple hits in.
Oh yeah, you got him. You got him.
Yes.
Boom, no reward.
Where is my legendary, you jerk? That was supposed to.
Well, you fought one.
All right, I lived. So far, I'm doing.
Okay, now the Unburied,
I'm 1 for 1 in Monster Power 10 Inferno.
These Unburieds, I do not see how they won't one-shot you.
No, this is going to be a one-shot. Although they're confused right now, so they're hitting each other, but let's see what happens. All right, they're stunned. They're stunned.
You're doing almost no discernible health.
Up.
Damage.
No, I'm
okay.
dead.
There we go.
I'm totally dead.
I don't even know how you're supposed to fight those by yourself.
Basically not get hit or run through the rest of the game a lot and you know, get some items or spend a lot on the auction house. Yeah, this is going to be a challenge. Not for me. A little bit too much for me right now.
Yes.
So I mean, the 1.0.5 changes, they're pretty good. There's actually a lot of them we didn't cover. There's a very extensive change list that you can find on Blizzard's site. You know, it's not the type of patch that completely, you know, revolutionizes the game experience, or like we were talking about with PvP, provides a dramatically new mode of play. Oh, die, skeleton.
Good luck with that. Oh, and here come the Unburied.
You know, but I mean, I think they are welcome changes to the game. They're good ones. And yeah, we'll continue to cover Diablo 3 here at IGN as more changes are rolled in, and we'll of course have PvP news to you as soon as it's available.